Welcome to my home, RVA. I'm Cindy Merritt, and today we are at the Children's Home Society, and this is Bruin Richardson. And Bruin, what is the Children's Home Society?
The Children's Home Society is a 120-year-old adoption agency. We were founded in 1900, and we're about to celebrate our 120th anniversary on January 30th of next year.
Wow.
Over the last 20 years, we've really shifted our focus as the needs of society have changed. And so our focus now is on trying to get kids who are in the foster care system into permanent adoptive homes. And we focus really on the older kids in the system.
Really? Okay. And November is National Adoption Month.
Correct.
So when you talk about kids that are older in the system, what age is considered older?
Really anything about 12 and up.
Really? Okay.
A lot of our focus is with kids who are 12, 14, sometimes all the way up to 17 or 18 in trying to get those kids adopted into a permanent home, because permanency is what will allow them to thrive going forward.
Talk to me about what happens if someone wants to adopt a child, especially an older child. What's
Sure.
the process?
First thing to do is do some education. Learn about the process. Learn about how it works, and also what the expectations would be.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that by, for instance, coming to our website, which is chsva.org.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of information on there. And then also, if you are interested, you can contact us, and we have orientations that we put on to help folks learn more about adopting. And then we do trainings for prospective adoptive parents that are very extensive, not only about adoption, but about trauma. Everything we do is trauma informed, because we know all the young people that we work with have been through significant trauma. And so parenting a child who's been through trauma takes some different parenting techniques, and we train the parents on how to utilize those techniques to effectively work with children who have been through trauma for much of their life. Once the child has been placed in the home, we don't just abandon them.
Okay.
We have our post-adoption services group that works with those parents and really works through the parents to help the parents establish those bonds of attachment that will then allow the child to heal going forward. So we're there really whenever they need us, whether it's by email, whether it's by phone, whether it's by a visit, but we want to help those parents learn to parent those children in ways that are appropriate and that will be effective. And so we're there right beside them all the way. And then we also have what's called our post-adoption club, which is for, it's a fun day for kids who've been adopted to come together and go do something like go to King's Dominion and get to spend time with kids just like them, but also give their parents a little break too.
Okay, yeah. You are a nonprofit organization.
We are.
Okay, so you're doing a lot of training and a lot of hand-holding and events. Where does your funding come from?
About 25% of our funding comes from the Departments of Social Services and some minor fees that we charge for some of the services that we provide. But 75% of it comes from philanthropy. So it comes from foundations, it comes from corporations, and it comes from people just like you who care about our cause and support us and support our special events when we have them, but also will support us through our annual fund and through making contributions, which you can do on our website at chsva.org and hit the Donate Now button.
Okay, so if you want to help, definitely go on their website to make a donation. That would be wonderful. Can you give me an example of maybe a family that has come together through?
Sure. One that really comes to mind. We had a young man who was approaching his 17th birthday. He really wanted to be adopted. He's a really good kid, and we had a single guy who they clicked, and they got along great, and they had kind of the same interesting personalities, and they just worked wonderfully together. And that young man was adopted when he was 17.
Wow.
And
okay.
is doing great now, and is in ROTC, and is really thriving in school. And all it took was that sort of attachment. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an attachment that, or a traditional family as we think of it.
Okay.
We have same-sex couples who adopt, and we have more traditional families that adopt too. And it all can work. It just really depends on the commitment and the willingness to open their hearts and create those bonds of attachment going forward.
Very good. Now you said this one young man was 17, so he was really almost 18 then when his adoption was finalized.
Yes.
What happens to kids? Do they age out of the system at 18? What happens when they become adults, for lack of a better word?
When a child ages out, or really a young adult ages out of the system at age 18, there is some support from 18 to 21 in a program called Fostering Futures, which was put into the state budget a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I say that there's some support because it's really not enough support. And we actually about 3.5 years ago started a program called the Possibilities Project.
Okay.
That program provides housing and full wraparound supports for young people who have aged out of the system.
Oh, okay.
We have 5 two-bedroom apartments. It's a joint venture with the Better Housing Coalition, and we provide the apartments, so we have room for 10 young people in our program at any one time, and we give them financial literacy training. We also work on them with their educational goals. We really work with them to sit down and figure out what are their goals and how can we help them get there. So we work on workforce readiness. We help them with jobs. We help them with transportation. Many times kids who are in foster care don't get their driver's licenses because their foster parents don't want to put them on their insurance.
Oh, okay.
And or they've moved around so much that they haven't had a chance to get driver's ed.
Right. Okay.
So a lot of times transportation is a real issue for young people who age out. But without supports, the statistics are really bad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Almost half within 2 years of aging out will be either homeless or in jail. Over the course of their lifetime, and this is a study that was done by the Jim Casey Foundation, kids who age out over the course of their lifetime cost society over $300,000 each.
Wow.
And so we believe that if we can make an investment up front in those young people, that we can break that cycle. Virginia right now ranks 49th out of 50 states in the rate at which kids age out of the foster care system.
Really?
And so we think that we need to do something about that. And
that's a huge problem here then, isn't it?
It is a huge problem. We have nearly 500 kids a year who age out in the state of Virginia. And we also can make some changes in the way we support social services. Our Department of Social Services is underpaid, understaffed. Their technology is 20 years old. Their training programs that they use right now are over 30 years old. And we've got to make some changes there. And so it's really important that as a state we make the investments to change this paradigm of the way we are looking at foster care and change, let's get from 49th to, I don't know, at least 25th.
Yeah, halfway. Yeah.
Or how about we get first?
Yeah.
And we can do that, but it will take an investment, and that's why one of the things that we also do is we have an advocacy arm for the Possibilities Project, and we work in the General Assembly to educate legislators about the issues that affect both kids in the foster care system and kids who've aged out of the foster care system. So if folks want to make a difference, they can support our advocacy efforts as well,
right.
Either by joining us down at the General Assembly or by contributing to us so that we can continue with those advocacy efforts.
Wow, such an amazing work that you do on so many different levels. It's quite admirable. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
So if you want to help, if you want to make a difference, make a change, be part of the success of a young person, come down to the Children's Home Society of Virginia, make yourself at home, but more importantly, give a child the chance to have a home as well. And you can make a difference. You'll be really glad you did.
Cindy Merritt is nationally recognized as a leader in the U.S. real estate market. Of the more than 35,000 realtors in Virginia, the American Institute of Real Estate Professionals consistently ranks Cindy in the top 10 best realtors in the state.
Make Yourself at Home is sponsored in part by Paul Adams, branch manager and nationally recognized senior loan officer with Prime Lending, a Plains Capital company. With over 400 mortgage options available, Paul Adams and his team work hard to uncover the key to each client's mortgage success.